welcome to the autumn season, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to arrange our Mulberry Hydrangea arrangement. This is the deluxe size and it is just full of them really rich, warming burgundy tones with browns, with the limonium giving like a slightly lighter feel, like everything just feels and looks like foraged, and yeah, it's one of my favourites. I'm going to be arranging it in our laburnum vase, which is about 28 centimetres tall, and it's got a neck opening of around 13 centimetres. So it's got a nice full body to allow the stems to kind of do what they need to do to make a nice shape, but it's also going to hug them in. And I'm going to start by popping our foliage in first. So this is our burgundy eucalyptus. It's got some nice seeded details to it as well. I'm just going to kind of tease out these branches. And height-wise, you really want it to kind of start around here. So just take a good look at kind of how much you might need to bend, and that's going to give you a good indication. And you can always kind of test it against the side. And then on this one, I might just go slightly lower, just so that there's a slight variation. I don't want them to all look exactly the same, because if you look to nature and our gardens and everywhere else, nature is never perfect. So just try and always think about that as you're arranging, just to make every stem slightly different. So that's just building a nice kind of base for everything to sit against, and just creates a really nice colour palette as well. Next, I'm going to add in our limonium stems. And the detailing on these is really beautiful. I often think it just, even on camera and film, it doesn't do it justice. But it's got these delicate kind of creamy tipped ends to it. And yeah, it's just like a fern, but a dried version of the fern, which is just perfect for autumn. So you get a lot on this stem. And when it arrives, it will probably arrive looking more like that. You just want to take a couple of seconds just to really fan out each of the lovely fronds. And stem lengthwise, I want it to be about that height. So again, just measuring it against the vase and putting a nice tight bend in it there. And popping that in. And the same with this one. And I'm going to do this one slightly lower. Probably about there. On this side, just so that you've got it kind of dispersing through the whole vase. You can make sure you bring some of these forward, so that when we pop in like the hydrangeas and everything else, it really creates like that depth, like you really want to kind of be drawn into it. Next, we're going to put our largest flower in. So this is our focal flower, and this is the Mulberry Hydrangea. And it really is so realistic. Like, it actually sounds real. It feels real, and this colour is very, very difficult to actually dry yourself, so it's really nice to have a faux version that you just don't need to worry about. The trick with using flowers like this in arrangements that are particularly big and quite a solid shape is to disperse them very naturally randomly throughout the arrangement, and that means making sure they're different lengths, different heights, and they're even facing in different directions. You don't want them all to be kind of like staring at you. As in the vase, you want them to feel very, very real. So I'm going to leave this one at full height, and I'm just going to have it kind of going out in that direction. And the next one, I'm just going to bend this slightly, maybe about an inch, just on the end, just there. And have this one facing towards me, where I am now. So they're not the same height, they're not facing the same way. And then this last one, I think, is going to look really beautiful just down here. So it's really important when you're building your displays to create some sort of harmony between the flowers and the vase. So by just making sure that some of these, any of the flowers that you're using kind of connect with the vase in any way by spilling over is really going to help that. And definitely using this. And what's really great about these is that you can bend them right to the very top, so that they could do anything that you want, and then they just bend back. So this is just going to sit nicely on the neck there. Perfect. Happy with those. Next, I'm going to put in our Achillea. So this is the dried Achillea in brown. So it's a really great colour with the combination that we've currently used. The detailing on it is so beautiful. It's just packed full of texture. And what's really nice about it is that you get lots of branches on it, and all of the kind of the heads are different. So it just makes it look so much more realistic. So again, just take your time to bend out the branches. You can have them going in different directions, forwards, backwards, side to side. Just play around till you're happy. I'm going to bend this ever so slightly, not much at all, about 1 inch, and just have this coming out through the top, just to be a nice kind of interesting detail at the top there. But again, because it's got them smaller branches, it's also putting in lots of texture down there. And the other one I'm going to have much shorter, and I kind of want it to go on this side. So probably bending that about 3.5, 4 inches, I'd say. And popping it through this side. And then once it's in position, you can kind of tweak the branches however you feel is going to make it as perfect as possible, so that the textures are nice and random. Nice. And then next we're going to put in our dried allium seed heads. So we have loads of these in the garden, and I do often cut them and to bring in to enjoy, but their seeds can be extremely messy. And our girls do like to walk around the house with them, and the seeds go absolutely everywhere. So having a faux version is really nice. And this colour is really nice for autumn. So I'm going to have one coming down lower here, because I feel like I've got a bit of a gap there. And this is just going to hopefully do the perfect job of filling that. And it's got 3 seed heads on it. So again, you can make sure that you kind of get the most out of all of your stems. I'm going to leave this one at full height and pop it through the middle, different directions. And then last but no means least is our autumn bud spray. Again, nicely, very abundantly textured, and it's a nicer dark brown than anything else we've used, and I feel like this really helps pull everything together. So we're just going to use 2 stems on this, and I'm just going to stand back and have a little look at whereabouts I feel like it needs to go, because we've got a bit of a gap going on through there, I would say. So I'm definitely just going to concentrate on kind of that. I've actually got a piece of foliage back here that's been pulled over the other direction, so that should help too. But I'll get my autumn bud in there, and I think I'm just going to bend it slightly, 1.5 inches or so, and work it through there. And the other one, I probably kind of want some more texture down here, I think, because I've got this Achillea working quite hard over there, looking beautiful. I've got my nice delicate fronds, so yeah, I think having the autumn bud over there would be nice, which means we need to bend that quite a lot, about there. We're getting caught on the lovely limonium. That's fine. And then I'm just going to pull those shorter branches forwards so that you can really see them in there. It's kind of the beauty with faux is that you can make it do anything that you want, whereas with fresh, you have to work with what you've got. But yeah, once you think you're complete, take a good step back and admire your work, hopefully, and make sure that you're happy with the positioning and the placement of everything, which I feel like I am. I just want to bring this eucalyptus a touch higher, like that, and then I'll be happy. It's all in the small details. But yes, that is our Mulberry Hydrangea, the deluxe version. It looks beautiful in the laburnum vase. It also works beautifully in the Suffolk vase. But I hope you really enjoy watching and enjoy arranging and creating with your autumn stems.